Hardpoint located.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and in this video we're going to be learning the hardpoint rotations for the Miami map. If I can get past this tree in this car. And we're going to be talking about some tactics and strategies you can use, and probably look at some maybe weapon choices as well. So the opening hardpoint is here, right in the middle of the map, at Ocean Drive intersection centre. However, one of the things you should always be thinking about when you first start a game is not really the first hardpoint, it's the second one. Now the second one is at the visitor centre back there in the west of the map. So if you spawn at that end of the map, it's fine. You can just keep pushing and trying to take this one. But if you spawn at the other end of the map, what you need to be doing is coming along the beach or along the garage behind the hotels and getting yourself over here. Now, the way that hardpoint works is that these hardpoints move around. Here we go, let's have a look at this one soon. Move around the map in a fixed manner, and there's normally 4, 5 or 6 of them depending on the size of the map. And your team scores points for having someone on the hardpoint. The first team to 250 points wins. You don't get any more points for having more people on the hardpoint. Sometimes it can be an advantage to defend different areas. But often you're better off being off the hardpoint if somebody's already on it, so that you can be out of the way, because when people are rushing onto the hardpoint to take it, they'll won't be they'll be looking for people in the corners on the hardpoint, not say somewhere up here defending like this. Also gets you out of the way of things like grenades. If you have an enemy on the hardpoint with you, nobody scores any points, and it keeps on going that way. So here we go. So our next one is Beach South, which funnily enough is on the north of the map. I guess it's South Beach, isn't it? Because we're in Miami. So this is this one on this boat.
Hardpoint is secure.
We can get up onto the boat. Maybe we could put our trophy system down there. And with hardpoint, it's a bit like the saying, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. And honestly, in hardpoint, if you know the map rotations and get ahead of the rotations so that you're always the first one onto the hardpoint, you can be the most important person on your team, winning it for your team, even if you can't hit the side of a barn door with a shotgun. Honestly, I reckon hardpoint is a great mode for beginners, as long as you know what the hardpoints are. So if you look in the description below this video, you'll see a list of the hardpoints for Miami, the order they're in, and there's also a link to a document that has the hardpoint rotations for the other maps. Now, the other one is the next one is the Blackwood Lobby, which is over there, and you will have noticed that with 10 seconds to go, it's the Blackwood Hotel, with 10 seconds to go in the current hardpoint, the game does show you where the next hardpoint will be. There is an argument that this has dumbed down hardpoint a little bit, because it means that even if people don't know the hardpoints and don't bother to learn them, the game's saying, look, this is where the next one is, go, and everybody can start running to them. So it means that you've got to be at that next hardpoint probably a little bit earlier than you would in previous Call of Duties, or previous, before they had this warning. So the next hardpoint after this one is in the parking garage, which is in the southwest, which is over in that direction. So we're going to go now to get ahead of the game. And generally in hardpoint, what I recommend you do is only stay on a hardpoint and defend it for about 30 seconds. With 30 seconds to go, you want to be thinking about leaving and heading to the next hardpoint, which is here, in order to set yourself up, to put your defences down, to put your trophy system down, to find a good place to tuck yourself to defend the hardpoint and be ready for when the opposing forces out. I say 30 seconds because you've got that 10-second warning, and trust me when I say that with 10 seconds to go, everybody will be rushing towards the new one. But if you leave with 30 seconds to go, on most of the maps, that gives you more than enough time to get to the next hardpoint. So in this case, the next hardpoint is back to the Ocean Drive interchange, which is kind of over there. So let's head over there in advance and be ready. So that's the basic hardpoint map rotations for Miami. Fairly easy to learn. The more you play hardpoint and the more you get used to the maps, the simpler it will be. And the next stage is really thinking about spawns. So we kind of talked about this at the beginning. So you might be in a situation where you simply cannot, say your team is spawning over here, and you simply cannot capture this hard point. They've got it too well locked down. So then you've got to think, okay, well, we need to be able to capture the next one. Now, you know the next hard point is over in the visitor centre, over there in the north. What you need to then do is flank, stealthily flank. When you're on these flanks to get yourself positioned for the next hard point, you don't want to be engaging enemies. Let them run past you. Let them run towards the hard point, because your job is to get yourself into a safe position, say over here, so that your teammates will be spawning with you over here. So then out of spawn, they will be running straight towards the new hard point and be close enough to make a difference to get it. So let's say, you know, we're in this hard point, and the enemies are all coming from, say, they're spawning over there, something like that, you know, would be cool. And then you notice that one of your friends, one of your teammates, is on the hard point with you. Well, there's no point both of you being on there. Now, if you move off the hard point, you're not going to get the points yourself, are you? You're not going to get those points to earn your score streaks. But for the good of the team, what you could do is move off the hard point. And there's loads of room to flank on this map. I tell you what, loads of room. Ooh, people have left their picnics out from the day. And move round here. To start your team, say you were here, say, your team will start spawning around you in this area because it'll be a safe spawn. So they can run to help capturing that hard point. But that also means that when the hard point pops to that one, they're going to be in a great position to support you to capture this one. And it's a way of making sure that even teammates you don't really know, you know, where the next hard points are, you're automatically putting them in the best position to get to the next hard point. So we're on this one, and let's say the enemies are coming from that direction. Now we know the next hard point is in the lobby of the hotel over there, but the enemies are coming from that direction. You know, we're looking at them, so thinking, oh bloody hell, how are we going to get to that one? We don't want some. So again, this is another case where you would jump off perhaps a little bit earlier and do like a really big flank round, even if it means giving up the hard point, you know, because if you give up a hard point, the enemies are like, woohoo, we've got the hard point. So you can do this massive flank all the way around this way, getting behind all the enemies to get back into the lobby. So there's the lobby there, so we could even hide here. You know, maybe we can hear enemies running past us, running towards the existing hard point. Now it will have popped now, so people will be running towards this one. So again,
trophy deployed.
You can get your trophy. I'm determined to get a trophy system to land on top of that, and you can get yourself set up and ready to go. So again, now we know we're defending this one, and we're looking at the minimap, and the enemies are coming from that direction, or maybe that direction, southwest of the map. So again, so that's what you're thinking about. If the enemy starts pushing you too hard, and you get knocked off the hard point, if there's less than 30 seconds to go, there's no point fighting for this hard point. No point at all. You're better off just going around and setting yourself up for the next one, to make sure you get those points on the board. So let's get ourselves around to the parking garage. Let's flank nice and wide. There is so much room to flank on this map. So that's where it's going to be. So we could kind of set ourselves up here. So what we can do really is we could even, you know, don't jump on yet, wait. Because if there's a little rat there. Or is it a rat? Or is it, yeah. If someone's doing the same thing that you're doing on the opposing team, you know, you can shoot them as they come onto the hard point. Also, if there's somebody on your team that is, you know, has got the right idea and jump onto the flag, don't you jump onto the flag at all. You know, you hang back and think, okay, where are the enemies going to be coming from? Where do I need to defend from for the next 30 seconds? And then you're like, okay, so we're here. Now, we know now that this is the kind of the last hard point, and we're going back to this hard point here. So we really want to be, we don't want to be pushing too far that way, because if we push too far that way, what's going to happen is we're going to start spawning. What we want to do is we want to be thinking about falling back here, so we're anchoring the spawn points, the safe spawn points perhaps in this direction, so we're ready to take this flag. There we go, it's going to pop now, get the next, so the next warning has popped. So, you know, so we could maybe tuck ourselves down here. Watch out for this long sight line though. Ready to slide in and take the hard point. So that's all of the hardpoint rotations for Miami. So why don't we now just talk about maybe some of the weapons. Now, the weapon I'm using is the MP5K. Now, this is a good choice for Hardpoint because it's very good up close and it's reasonably good at medium range. And in Hardpoint, you're going to be tucking yourselves into corners when you're defending. People are going to be rushing in. You want to take them out fast. Also, if you're rushing and sliding into Hardpoints or sliding around a corner, you know, the MP5K is good at taking people out that way. So it's a good general purpose weapon to do that sort of thing. Other things, on this class setup I've got the RPG, but you may want to use the Sigma as your launcher. The advantage of having an RPG, the RPG is good because it has lots of splash damage, but the Sigma's not too bad either. The Sigma has the big advantage, you know, the other rocket, the Sigma rocket, that you can shoot down enemy spy planes, counter spy planes, helicopters, all that sort of stuff. Because trust me when I say that, especially late game, when people start calling in the more stronger skill streaks, if a hardpoint is in the open, like this one at the intersection, an enemy having a chopper hanging around there and killing everybody who's coming onto it can change the course of the game. So being able to shoot that chopper down with a launcher is very, very powerful indeed. Tacticals, I've gone for smokes. There's a strong argument for smokes, stuns or flashbangs, depending how you want to play. The beauty with smoke grenades is that when you're on a hard point, you can throw them at your feet, they fill the room with smoke, and the enemies are very confused about where you are, so you can hang on to the hard point for longer, you can keep it contested for longer as you go around trying to kill the enemies. You can throw the smoke into hard points that are owned by the enemy, so that you can then, again, cause confusion, slide in, take them out, or at least have the hard point contested so they're not earning points. Later on, when you unlock the thermal sights or the night vision sights, you can see through smoke and shoot people through smoke, which is very powerful. However, flashbangs and stuns are really good as well, because again, you can throw them in to stun enemies when you're taking a hard point, so you can slide in and take them out while they're stunned. You can throw them down corridors and approach areas while you're defending a hard point to slow enemies down. You know, so there's lots of arguments that way. Lethals, I've gone with frags, but you could go with Semtex. There's again a strong argument for C4, because C4 you can put down by the entrances to hard points, and then as the enemies approach, you could use them like mines, really, well, your IADs, and blow them up as the enemies come in. You could definitely argue for that. Field upgrade, I would say the trophy system is pretty much essential. The trophy system intercepts enemy grenades and rocket launchers and cruise missiles, I think, or it did in Modern Warfare anyway. So as you're on the hardpoint and they're throwing all these lethals and tacticals in, your trophy system will shoot them down. There's a strong argument for the field mic as well, but I would say that as a secondary. You know, if you're playing as a team and your mate can have a field mic, brilliant, because you can pop it down, then you can see where the enemies are coming from. Perks, flak jacket to reduce incoming damage from explosives, ghost, so you stay off the mini-map when you're running around the outside to get these flanks on. Perk 2, gearhead or quartermaster. What gearhead does is it makes your field upgrade recharge faster, so you always have a trophy system, and you can carry two, so you've always got a spare in case one gets destroyed, or you've got to move on from a hard point and put a new one down. Quartermaster recharges your equipment, so if you find in hardpoint that you tend to stay alive for a lot longer and you're running out of lethals and tacticals, then go with Quartermaster, because that means they will then recharge and you'll have them ready for the next hardpoint. Danger Close is my wild card, you know, so I've got 2 tacticals, 2 lethals. So there we go, that's the hardpoint rotations, and a little bit of talk about weapons, a little bit of talk about tactics and strategies for the Miami map on Black Ops Cold War. Honestly, check it out. If you know the rotations in Hardpoint, you can be the big difference to winning or losing, especially when the game's new. You know, for the first few months when people are learning it, you can really have a great time in Hardpoint. Anyway, that's enough from me. If you've enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and of course, I'll see you again soon.